Dorfromantik is a puzzle game that masquerades as a city builder. It is one of the most calming gaming experiences I've had in a very, very long time. The visuals are soothing, the music so relaxing, the gameplay is engaging but never overstimulating to the point where it even gets remotely stressful, and it has sound effects that sound like little dopamine hits. Now, on the surface, it would be easy to crudely mislabel this as an example of a city builder innovating to become more puzzle-like, but if anything, I think it went the other way. A puzzler that suited building on a countryside map or within a countryside theme. And at a push, I should have probably said it's a puzzle game masquerading as a village builder, because there aren't even any cities in sight. It's more of a kind of serene world builder, and a game I'll state at this point has captivated me for 61 hours. That's shocking since I started playing it. And honestly, it's a number I expect to climb. And obviously from that intro, you can tell that I think that this game is awesome. But for me, and it's why I called this video When So Awesome, it does something very different for me. Now, of course, first of all, I'm going to talk about the mechanics and why this game is good, but then I'm going to expand on that point of when so awesome. So, what is Dorfromantik? Well, quite simply, it's a puzzler in which you need to match tiles. Now, in the normal game, you are tasked with laying hexagonal shaped tiles to construct a sprawling, charming and picturesque landscape, drawing from a stack of hexagons in the bottom right hand corner of your screen. Each hexagon tile can be spun around to connect with one you have previously laid until you run out. And the aim of the game? To build a world as big as possible and achieve the highest score you can until there are no more tiles to lay. And there's a wonderful variety of different tile types to keep the game fresh. Fields or farming crops, railways, rivers, towns, forests and green fields. Each of the tiles have this beautiful pastel shade and it looks absolutely stunning, just charming on the eyes. Scoring comes from laying the tiles and matching the edges with a similar type, for example houses into houses, and if all 6 sides match when you lay a tile, you get this kind of charming little dopamine hitting sound effect, along with a perfect notification and some extra tiles to lay, which staves off you running out of tiles for a little while longer and keeps the game going. In terms of challenges, some tiles have numbers on them, indicating how many similar tiles they need to connect with. If the challenge number has a plus after it, you can just keep building and building and building until you go past the score, but if there's no plus, you have to land on the exact number. For example, 24 houses, lay 25 and you fail, which actually can get quite tricky at times, because you're relying on the luck of the draw. Now luckily there is an undo button for the last tile you laid, which, yep, I used quite a few times. Complete the challenge number and you get more tiles to lay, which again means you can prolong your game. The only real frustration comes is when you accidentally close off an area before you've managed to complete the challenge. Now, there are also flags which pop up, meaning that you need to close off a certain area of tile types. And again, it gives you more tiles upon completion. And occasionally, these ghost tiles appear which give you a certain challenge, and upon completion, yield new skins for tiles which keeps the game fresh. And finally, there are overall game challenges like reach a score of 20,000 or build a certain sized forest. And that is it. I've probably made it sound more complicated than I needed to. It's charming, it's simple, and it's really fun to get addicted to. The thing I love about it is there's no pressure, there's no time limit that you have to build to. It's at your pace. And like I said, I checked my Steam page and I've pumped 61 hours into this. That number which is going to go up and up and up because, well, for the reasons I'm going to explain. But all those reasons I've just talked about, the mechanics of the game, which is what fundamentally makes it an awesome game, isn't what makes it special for me. It's an awesomely addictive game, but for me, its strongest suit is the vibe it creates. It's why I called it When So Awesome. Now, to expand on that point about the vibe, the stunning pastel shades of the tiles and the music is like a charming lullaby, but I think the vibe goes further than that. Dorfromantik, the title of this little puzzling masterpiece, is a word which apparently translates from German as village romanticization and is meant to sum up the feeling of nostalgia for life in the countryside. And drawing on that charming retrospective feeling of nostalgia, For me, some indie games, some indie titles, they make me nostalgic. They remind me of the innovation of games of my youth. But not Dorfromantik. Dorfromantik's effect was very different. This is very much a modern game. In fact, my wife's observation when she came in my room was, "That looks really awesome. Can I get it on iPad?" Which I can see. I mean, it sounds like a bit of a slur, but I think she was referring to the fact the tiles just seem so tactile, so touchable, and I totally get it because this is a game that you can just pick up and play and sink into. And going back to why I called this video When So Awesome, well, through the music, that charming lullabies, and the gameplay, and those wonderful pastel shades, it's a game you can just sink into, and it gave me this zen-like introspection. I found it was the perfect game to pick up and play after work, just to realise that I was guilty of getting too stressed about things. This game soothes, it pacifies me, and I realise at times I'm guilty of just taking the world too seriously. And honestly, this game has an almost meditation-inducing effect on me, and I found myself feeling sentimental for things I don't do enough or the people I need to spend more time with. In short, this is my ultimate chill-out game, and I think in the modern world and in life in general, after lockdowns and pandemics, we need to chill out. Sometimes we are guilty of just getting stressed about things that we don't really need to get stressed about. I remember one time when I was working from home, my internet went down and I almost lost the plot. I was so stressed. But then something wonderful happened. My dog came into the room sensing that I was getting worked up. She jumped on my lap and then acted as a physical barrier between me and the computer. It got me to sit back, to reflect on what I was doing, and I just suddenly realised that the internet was out of my control and there was no need to get stressed about it. Now I know I went off on a bit of a tangent there, but I have a point. Sometimes the world just gets too much and we need a game like this, a chill out game, and I'm not saying it's the perfect game for everybody, but for me, this gave me that effect. When so awesome? Well, when I'm probably guilty of taking the world too seriously. Now, let me know in the comments below what your ultimate chill out game would be. I would love to talk about it. Now, before I get into things that I think are potential issues for some people, I'm just going to round it up with the other things you can find. When it came out of early access this year, I was a bit surprised because I've been playing this game all the way through early access, and it always felt quite complete. But these days, the finished product you can build into different seasons, like you can see winter or summer tiles and build across from season to season as your map gets bigger. And aside from the normal game mode, there's also an unlimited creative mode, a hard mode with less quests or challenges to get more tiles, there's a quick mode which has a limited number of tiles, a monthly mode with custom rules, and your own custom rule options. But for all of those options I just mentioned, it's still the same basic idea of laying and matching tiles, just maybe marching to a slightly different pace. And that brings me on to the issue that some may have. It's a puzzle game, and it's simple. 6 sides on a tile, well, it keeps it fresh, but maybe that's too basic for some. The idea of scoring as high as you possibly can and building as far as possible with a limited number of tiles is something that I loved, the idea of beating my own score. But it may not be enough challenge for every gamer, and then you look on Steam. The first tag this game has is City Builder, which, okay, I get it, because you're building a world, but Zen-like or puzzle games should have been the primary tags, because this isn't really what I would think of as a city builder. There's no money, no economy, no politics, no budget management, no district design, there's no upgrading or building of regions, it's just about matching tiles and scoring high. It's a puzzle game. The very thing that made it so addictive for me, that vibe and uncomplicated nature, is possibly what could detract for others, which leaves me on a terrible joke. Dorfromantik isn't Sim City, it's Simplicity. Simple City. I don't know, forgive me. I'm a dad, I do dad jokes. Let me know if you have any other questions about this game or you want to tell me about your chill out game. But from me today, all it leaves me to say is thank you very much for watching, and this is Roy McCoy, out.